Let's prepare on pressure and its measurement. So today we are going to see the topic pressure. So as we know, pressure is nothing but the force that is applied per unit area will create a stress, and that is only called as pressure. So it is force by area on a plane surface. So the unit is Newton per meter square, which is also called as Pascal, and the dimensional unit is ml minus 1 t power minus 2. Okay, so this is all you should be known of the basics of pressure. So now we are going to see the types of pressure. So this is very important because this concept is only going to help us in all the other topics of the fluid mechanics, because this basic pressure only will be applied in all other topics. So this is very important. Okay, so here we have absolute zero reference, that is a 0 point from the bottom. So if you see here, this is your bottom, that is like your ground level. Okay, and then with respect to that we'll be taking a pressure. So if you are measuring a pressure from 0, then the whole pressure you will be calling it as absolute pressure. So if this is 0 and you are getting some 150 Pascal means, then this will be your absolute pressure. Okay, and we have the atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure means we know it already, the pressure that is present in the atmosphere. So it is a standard pressure, it won't change at all. Okay, so that we call it as a local atmospheric pressure reference. So we create a reference here. So this straight line is your reference, like a datum here. Okay, so this value will be generally 1 bar. Very accurately it is 1.01325 bar. So this is very important. So if you measure some pressure with respect to this atmospheric pressure means, then we call that pressure as a gauge pressure. Okay, in the previous absolute pressure what we did, we measured it from the 0, that is from 0 level. But if you measure it with respect to the atmospheric pressure means, we call it as the gauge pressure. So for example, as I told here, let us take this as 120. Okay, let us take it as 2 bars like that. Okay, so here we know that this is 1 bar, then the gauge pressure is 1 bar. So 1 plus 1 you will be getting 2 bar here. Okay, so this is what gauge pressure means, and the gauge pressure can be lower than the atmospheric pressure also. If that is the case means, we call that as a vacuum pressure. Okay, so if you have 0.7 bar as your absolute pressure, so it will be somewhere here below the 1 bar. Okay, so this difference between the atmospheric pressure reference and absolute pressure, we call it as the vacuum pressure. So this gauge pressure can be positive or negative. When it is negative, we term it as vacuum pressure. So that's the only difference. So this is all about your absolute pressure, atmospheric pressure, gauge pressure and vacuum pressure. So with this basics only, we'll be calculating the pressure differences. So here if you see means, absolute pressure is equal to, it is with respect to the absolute 0 reference. We are referring to the 0 point, from the nil point only we are calculating. Okay, but whereas the gauge pressure is equal to with respect to the gauge. The gauge we have fixed here is the atmospheric pressure. So here pressure absolute is equal to pressure atmosphere plus gauge, whether if it is higher than that means. If it is lower means, pressure absolute will be equal to pressure atmosphere minus the pressure vacuum. Okay, so this is the general formula you should be known of. So with this basic idea, we can go into the pressure measuring instrument, so that we can apply these ideas there to calculate the pressure differences and pressure at a point. So now let us see about the hydrostatic law before going into the pressure measurement. So here I have taken a container which is filled with a fluid, and a particle at A and a particle at B is taken. So it is with a height difference of h. So when you take a particle at B, it is split into x, y and z. Okay, so let us change this. This z and this is y. You can keep like that also, but I have written the derivation with respect to this only. So I have taken this is y and this is z. Okay, so here this x and y are in horizontal plane. So what is the horizontal plane means? If you are taking a container and it is filled with fluid, all the points, the pressure will be same in this line. And if you take another line, the pressure at all the points in this line will be same. So it means that in a horizontal line, the pressure along that line in each and every point will be same. So we can use this principle here. So as I told, it is y we have considered. So this is Z. So we can take x and y lie in a horizontal plane. So it is just 90 degrees varying from each other. So we can take dp by dx is equal to dp by dy is equal to 0 because the pressure is same here. But dp by dz, it won't be same. Here we'll be using the natural formula. We know that no, rho g. So we are using rho into g here. So when you take the integration like dp is equal to dz, just you are taking this term here, so it will become rho g into dz, and we are applying the integration. So here pa to pb, and here it is 0 to h because it is the height difference between pa and pb. So you will be getting pb minus pa is equal to rho gh. So rho gh you can also tell it as gamma into h. So here this is very important. The pressure difference is always equal to rho gh or gamma into h. So now if you want to find the pressure at B, means you should always add pressure A plus gamma into h. If you want to find the pressure at B means, A means you should add PB minus gamma h. So this is the condition. So here when you take the when you find the pressure for a downward point means you should add. When you take the pressure for the upward case means you have to minus. So upward case means when it will come means like this. Okay, so here PA will be at the bottom, so we'll be taking that point as a known value. So with respect to that, we'll be finding PB. So now we are finding some point which is above the known value. So when this is the case, you should minus rho h. So this is the basic thing should be remembered because this only will be applied in the pressure measuring devices. So here there are different types of pressure measuring devices. The first one is barometer, and the second one is piezometer, and the third one is manometer. So in manometer there are 5 different types. One is U-tube simple manometer, differential manometer, single column tube manometer, or you can call it as micromanometer also, inclined manometer and inverted. So we will be seeing all these in detail. So no need to study any formula in this, just understand the concept because studying this formula is not necessary here. So when you understand the concept, whatever value they give you, so if some numerical value is given also, we can solve it easily. Okay, so first let us see the barometer. So for what purpose barometer is used means it is used to measure the atmospheric pressure. So as we saw, all these devices are used for measuring the pressure only, but each and every instrument is unique in its own pressure calculation. If you take in this barometer means it is used to measure only the atmospheric pressure. It can't measure the gauge pressure. Okay, so here this is specifically for atmospheric pressure. So this is just a apparatus used, so it is a container filled with mercury and we'll be placing a tube inverted on that. So up to this the mercury will be raised to a height of h from the point B, and we are taking another point C here. So the point A, no, so this vacuum pressure, so here the pressure will be absolute zero pressure because it's just a vacuum there, no, so there it will be absolute zero pressure. And we know that here B and C are in same line. So as we saw before, when 2 points are at same line, the pressure will be same at both the points. So we can equate PC is equal to PB. Okay, PC is open to the atmosphere. It is not inside any container, or it is not in a closed container. It is open to the atmosphere. So always when the point is open to the atmosphere, that point will be experiencing the atmospheric pressure only. So here PC will be equal to P atmosphere. So obviously PB also should be equal to P atmosphere. So we are equating like this: PB is equal to PZ is equal to P atmosphere. So now we have to calculate PB with respect to PA. So as we saw before, when we are calculating the point which is lower than, that is downward the known point, means we have to add. So PA plus gamma h will be the formula here. So PB is equal to 0 plus gamma h, because we know that PA is equal to 0 absolute pressure. So 0 plus gamma h, it is nothing but rho GH. So this is the formula for PB. So here for example, as this is HT filled that is mercury filled. Mercury has the density of 13,600 kilogram per meter cube, and gravity we know that it's 9.81, and H is generally for a mercury it will be 0.76 meter. So when you apply all these three values in this formula, you will be getting Pb is equal to 1 bar, which is normally a atmospheric pressure in general. So now we can calculate the atmospheric pressure using a barometer in this method. So now let us go to the next method. So next one is the piezometer. Here it is used to measure the pressure at any point with respect to the atmosphere. So with respect to the atmospheric pressure means it is a gauge pressure or vacuum pressure, because in addition to atmospheric pressure is gauge, and when we minus the value from atmosphere it is vacuum pressure. So this is particularly for that purpose only. So here I have taken a pipe like this, and in the pipe a liquid is passing and a piezometer is fixed on the top. So the water rises till the height of H, and at that point I have taken a point B, and inside the pipeline I have taken a point A, which is at a height difference of H. So this diagram you will be normally seen like this. You would have seen like this also. So this is nothing but this is the side view. So here A will be there and here B will be there. So this I have drawn in a horizontal view. So that's the only difference here. So when you take this condition, we know that PB, the pressure at B, is equal to 0 with respect to atmosphere. So you can see why it is equal to 0. It is in contact with the atmosphere, so it should have the atmospheric pressure only, like that you may think. But what we have mentioned in the piezometer, always you should measure the pressure with respect to the horizontal, that is atmospheric pressure. So with respect to horizontal pressure means it is 0 only, because it starts there. So atmospheric pressure minus atmospheric pressure will be equal to 0 only. So you should take PB as 0 with respect to atmospheric pressure. Then we want to find PA. So PA is the downward pressure with respect to PB. So PB plus gamma into H, or you can write rho GH. So here this rho GH is a gauge pressure, and we know that PB is equal to 0. So PA is equal to rho GH. So this is in terms of gauge pressure that is used to find, that is found out from the piezometer. If you want to find the absolute pressure at that point A means, you can add the P atmospheric pressure with this, so you'll be getting the absolute pressure at the point A. So this piezometer has some limitations. So this is very important. So these 3 points is very important. So what are the limitations that a piezometer have is, it cannot be used for gases. And the second one is, it cannot be used for vacuum pressure measurement. As I told, the gauge and vacuum both have with respect to the atmosphere, but this piezometer can't be used for the negative, that is vacuum pressure measurement. And the third one is the difficult to measure very high pressure. We can measure, but it is difficult to measure. Why means, here we know that P is equal to rho GH, because we got that now, P is equal to rho GH. As rho and G for any liquid or any state is, it's a constant, but H varies. Okay, so here P will be directly proportional to H, that is pressure is proportional to the height of that liquid rises. So when the pressure is very more, what happens? The height also will be very more. So we will be needing a very long tube for calculating the pressure here. So it is not practical in the laboratory. So we don't prefer piezometer when we go for a very high pressure calculation. So these three are the limitations of piezometer, which is overcome by a U-tube manometer. So that only we go for the single or simple U-tube manometer. So here we have a simple U-tube manometer. This is to measure the pressure with respect to the atmospheric pressure only. So here I have drawn both the diagram. This is your front view and this is your side view. So here a pipe is there and water is flowing in it, and here we'll be connecting the U-tube manometer here. So this point now from B to D, so this is your mercury. You'll be filling it with mercury. So it will be moving as the water level changes and increases, it will be moving. Okay. So here I have taken this point B and C. Okay, so you should always have this condition. When 2 points are at horizontal, the pressure will be equal. So we are going to only use this concept in all the methods. So we want to draw a horizontal line here. So you should always draw a horizontal line such that it is starting from one point and ending in that same point where the same liquid is passing through. You may think we can draw a straight line here also like that, but you should not draw, because here mercury is there, here some other water is there. Okay, but here if you take this point starts with the mercury and here also the mercury is there. So you should choose the horizontal line such that it has both same points. Okay, so here we choose B and C like this, and at N we choose D here. Okay, so here the difference between this A and D is taken as Y, and from D to C it is taken as X. So now we can use the simple principle, that is PB is equal to PC because it is a horizontal line. So PB is equal to PA plus gamma into GH. So, and then PD is equal to PC is equal to PD plus gamma M into GH, because here it is mercury, here it is fluid. So we use rho G and rho M here, that is the only difference. Now this H matters, because when you take PB, this is your total H value, that is X plus Y. So you should substitute X plus Y here, and when you take this point, this will be your H, that is your X only. So it is rho M into G into X. Okay, and PD is equal to 0 as it is open to the atmosphere. So atmospheric pressure at that point will be P atmosphere. So when you take with respect to atmospheric pressure, it is 0 as we saw in the previous case, no? So here PD is equal to 0. So when you simplify this formula, you'll be getting PA is equal to rho M minus rho into GX minus rho into GY. So this is why I told you don't mug up the formula, because in exams they may give you the values, that is the values of this X, Y and everything they'll be giving, and they'll be asking you to calculate. So when you draw the diagram, you can imagine yourself and find the answer there. So the same concept is only we are going to repeatedly doing for different types of manometers. So just the position of the manometer is different. So here in the next case, it is a differential U-tube manometer. So this is to measure the difference in pressure in two different pipes, because these two, the previous two cases we saw the pressure in a single pipe, but here it is to find the difference in the pressure in two pipes. So here I have taken two pipes. So here point A and here point B. The difference between that is Z, and the difference between the B point and the mercury level is Y, and from that to this horizontal line we take it as X. So as we saw, the horizontal line should be such that it should cross the same liquid. So here we have taken here. So here this has two different pipes. So two different fluids will be there. So rho will be different. Here rho 1 here and rho 2. So now we should use the basic principle. PC is equal to PD because it is in horizontal line. So PC will be equal to PA plus gamma 1 G into H. That H is nothing but it is X, Y plus Z. So this will be your rho 1 into G into H. When you take for this portion, you should take rho M into G into X. Okay. When you come to the next side, PD, it is PB plus rho 2 into G into this height. So this height, it is nothing but Y plus X. So you'll be getting this formula on simplification. You'll be getting this formula. That is the difference of PA minus PB is equal to this. So like this you can use in the exam also. Then the fifth one is inverted tube manometer. So this is specifically used to measure the low pressure difference between pipes. Okay. So here it is an inverted tube. So far we have seen like this only, but here it is inverted tube, and the principle and everything is same only. Here we'll be taking from A to B as Z, and then from here to here Y, and then from here to here X. So as I told you before, you should not take the horizontal line here. You should take always the horizontal line here only. Okay. So here we have taken air. Here on the top, this much time we have seen mercury, no? So here we have taken as air. So here there will be a valve also sometimes to release the air in some cases. So here PC is equal to PD. So PC will be equal to PA plus rho 1 into G into this height, that is X plus Y. And in the next PD side, if you see, means PD will be equal to PB minus. So here you can see this minus term. So far we have seen only positive terms, but here it is minus. Why? Why means PC is somewhere you are calculating upward for the known value, because we know here PA, so we are calculating something upward from there, so you should use PA minus gamma H. So we are using rho 1 g into x plus y, and in the next case it is rho 2 g into y plus z minus rho m into gx. So here rho m means it's nothing but the density of the air only I have mentioned as rho m. So on simplification you'll be getting PA minus PB is equal to this term. So this inverted YouTube manometer is also to find the difference in the pressure only, but this is used for very low pressures specifically. The next case is the inclined tube manometer. So as it is inclined, liquid moves more. So this gives you a better accuracy, and so it increases the sensitivity. So when there is a very small pressure differences has to be measured means you can use this inclined tube manometer. So here a pipe is there and we are fixing the manometer like this in an inclined shape. So here everything is same only. So here it's B and this is a point D, and we are drawing a straight line here. Okay. So here it is BC and the angle is theta, and this is your height, that is the difference between the horizontal line and D, and this length we are taking it as L. So here as we will be always doing PB is equal to PZ, you have to equate here. So PB will be equal to PA. How means here it is air. So when air is there, the pressure at this point, anywhere it will be same only. It is not like liquid, because liquid it changes its pressure with respect to the height. But air, when it is in a closed place, the pressure at the air in all the points will be equal only. So here obviously PA will be equal to PB. So we can write PB is equal to PA, and then PC is equal to PD plus rho m into g into h. So this is similar to the previous one. So here PD is equal to 0 because it is open to the atmosphere, and rho m into g into h. So this h is expanded as L sin theta, because here we get a triangle, no? So that triangle I have drawn here separately. So we'll be getting theta HL. So when you take sin theta, it is h by L. So h is equal to L sin theta. So when you substitute there, you'll be getting rho m GL sin theta. And sensitivity S is equal to 1 by sin theta. So this is also they have asked many times in the exams. So based on this we can calculate the sensitivity of the device also. The last one is the single column tube or micro manometer. So here also it is the modified version of YouTube manometer only, and this is very high precision, very high precision. If you need means we can use this method. So here I have taken a pipe here and we have a reservoir here. So this is the special case that is given for this micro manometer. So this reservoir will be having a greater area. So here I have used capital A, and the tube will be having a smaller area. So this capital A will be very larger than the small a. Okay, and here this is your initial level of water and this is your final level. You can take any liquids, final, initial and final level. So here we are taking the difference between the initial level and final level as del H. So this del H, why I have taken as del H means as its area is very more, the height will be very lesser only. But this reduction, that is this reduction in the H will give a greater impact in this tube A because it is having a very small area, so the rise will be more. So you can see this line. Small fall in A will give you a high rise in small a because it is a smaller tube. So here we can write capital A into del H is equal to small a into H. So del H by H is equal to A by A. So this is an important outcome of this manometer. And then we know that PB is equal to PZ because we have taken a horizontal line there. So at P the pressure will be at B the pressure will be same, which is the pressure at A. So PB is equal to PA. So I have written PA here because the air is only there, and PC is equal to PD plus rho m GH plus rho m G del H, because there is two difference area here. Here up to this it is H and after that it is del H. So it is two times coming like this. So here we can take del H is very negligible, so we can neglect that. So you'll be getting only PA is equal to rho m GH because PD is also becomes 0. So you can tell that PA is equal to rho m GH. So the outcome of this micro manometer, we can calculate the percentage error in pressure, that is nothing but pressure exact minus pressure approximate by pressure exact into 100. So exact means it is this formula. These two will be there. Approximate means only this will be there. So you can write rho mgh plus rho mg del h minus rho mgh divided by the same terms into 100. So you will be getting these two terms cancelled, and when you take rho mg outwards, you will be getting them also cancelled, and you'll be getting del h by h plus del h into 100. So as del h is very negligible, you can eliminate it when it comes to the denominator. So it is del h by h into 100, which can also be written as small a by capital A into 100. Percentage will be your percentage error for this micrometer. So all these manometer, everything is your same concept only they have used, but the case is alone different. The way we are calculating alone is different. So no need to mug up any formula, just you analyze and study it thoroughly. So whatever may be the type of the manometer, you can apply the basic principle. At the same horizontal line, the pressure is equal, and you can use the hydrostatic law so that you can find the answer. Thank you, and keep watching for the next lecture on fluid kinematics.